Hi, everybody. So, for those who don't know me, I'm Carl the Prado, and I just wanted to share with you something that I had a lot of fun creating. It was basically making myself into an action figure. Now, I've heard you can go to all these special factories and do that, and they cost like anywhere a little less than $1,000. Maybe you can get them a little cheaper. But what I was able to do with AI was to create this, and I'll show you this in a second. Here on my screen. Um, was I was able to create this little creature, this guy myself, and we call Carl the Deal Defender, and it's got a. And since my company works with helping M&A advisory firms with their technology, created this little thing that sort of represented my brand, um, and gave me an image. As a matter of fact, I decided it was a little too heavy. Maybe I'm a little egotistical. Probably the first one was more right. I am working out, going to the gym, but I said, can you make it a little neater? So what I wanted to do here was go through what my steps were to create this project here. It seems to have gotten a lot. It seems like it's a lot of fun. I think a lot of people would really like to make themselves into an action here. And it took me about 10 minutes to do. So let me go back to the first one. And this comes from a friend of mine, 𝘠𝘩𝘢𝘵 out of New Jersey. He had done this, and it sort of has taken off here. So I'm going to go back through here and find the okay, here it is. And I'm going to put this in the description. So I've spent a little while training my AI to know a little bit about who I am. I've created personas. You want to learn a little bit more about that, that's fine. That's great. But what I did was I started to give it some reference material. It knows I'm in technology. I work in AI. I work in cybersecurity. Focus on, this is what my business focuses on. So I said, why don't you, based on what you know about me, create a version of myself as an action figure in a blister package and include my name, slogan, and a message, and throw some fun accessories in here. So it first went ahead and created this. Now I put the wrong name, Jason. I'm Carl, but it said did that. But I like it said sleep safe and scale smart. It says the blister package, sleek, elegant, drop New York City skyline, merged with circuitry. Well, I think that's kind of cool. Cybersecurity shields, tagline, protecting what powers the deal. I like that a lot. Again, it kept on calling me Jason, the Deal Defender. And it went in there and it said, hey, what we're going to have is a cyber WISP, which means written information security plan, briefcase, and an AI playbook and some other stuff, a compliance scanner drone, an Aldi K Cup. I think it was trying to do AI K Cup, but it came up with Aldi, as far as that was concerned, and a thought leadership clip-on mic. Oh, that's cute. So went into what it was going to describe. And I said, let's go for it. And this is the picture. I'll tell you what, I'd love to have this hair. I'd love it to have been still brown. I would have been great. It's really cool, but this isn't me. Nobody would ever recognize it. Plus, his name is Daniel, and he's unleashing creativity, making your ideas happen. So I said, well, you know what? You got this wrong. Said maybe it didn't have a picture. So I went ahead and I dropped a picture in. So use the photo as a reference based on the information. And my name's Carl the Prado, the Deal Defender, And so I reposted everything back in. Now, what I had done in the meantime was, since I wasn't happy, I went over to Gemini, which is another AI. And there's several hundred, there's several of them. But each AI and Gemini, I wanted to see what it would do. They've done a lot of upgrades. And they have really nice image generation. So I said, okay, well, why don't we put the same thing in it? And it gave, a pretty good one. They wanted to go with a knowledge generator, gave it the reference, again, the references, but it couldn't generate an image the way I wanted it to. And I know there is a way of doing it, but it just couldn't pull it out there. So I bounced between the two of them, and I was able to create better elements of what I wanted on there. And because of that, then I, after I created the outline, it finally outputted out my, the image that I wanted. I thought it was pretty cool. It's got a three-dimensional and then the background picture. And then you could, I wasn't able to, it says download it. And when you download it, it says code and, it won't allow me to do it. But what you can do is you can open it up here. You just click on it and you can go to the drop-down arrow and save it. So that's how I was able to do it. And I said, you know what? He looks a little chunky. Maybe I want to be aspirational. And I said, can you make me a little slimmer? And so it did it like that. So that's how it's done, and this is just one of the many things you can do. So how would you use this? I mean, I'm putting this out there on Facebook and I'm saying, get yours today, just like a toy. But I think it's a good conversational starter. I think it's a little fun. You might want to do this for one of your clients or for somebody else there. I think it could be you can have a lot of fun with this, and it's eye-catching and people want to see it. So that was my thing today. If you want to learn a few other things on how you can use AI to help your business, feel free to reach out to me. Proud of A to Z Business IT. Thank you so much for your time. Everybody have a great day. Take care.